Good afternoon. The death toll from the 7.7 magnitude earthquake that struck Myanmar and Thailand has soared to more than 1,000 people. Rescue teams are now scrambling to search for survivors amid the devastating humanitarian crisis. Lauren Tomasi has the latest.
Buildings buckling and inside homes, confusion as this powerful earthquake hits. At the country's Mandalay airport, a rush to escape through debris, and outside, destruction is everywhere. This mosque reduced to rubble, bridges collapsed, and buildings are tossed to the side. It's now a scramble to search for survivors. In neighbouring Thailand, more than 1,000 kilometres away, dozens of people now missing after this under-construction skyscraper collapsed in Bangkok. So far from the epicentre, but the city's shaken. This rooftop pool had water cascading to the ground. This morning, the head of the military government in Myanmar warning the death toll will rise. The country already enduring a widespread humanitarian crisis. It's now facing a new and devastating disaster.
Back home, and it's been a dramatic start to the federal election, with both leaders heckled as they opened their campaigns in Brisbane. Federal politics reporter Liz Daniels is travelling with the opposition leader.
We're out of the blocks, and if today's anything to go by, this is going to be a fiery and deeply personal campaign. The Prime Minister starting the day in the opposition leader's own electorate of Dickson and getting a prickly reception.
Mr Albanese, you don't think 1.8 million immigrants in 5 years is going to increase demand on the medical system? What about the fact that people my age can't get any housing, we can't get rentals anymore, we have no future in this country anymore? Don't you think that's kind of ridiculous? No? You can't touch me, mate. You know, these people in there are robbing us of our future.
While a tour of the Forex brewery soured for Peter Dutton, with a Rising Tide protester showing the door.
Mr Dutton, why are you lying to the Australian people about the cost of nuclear and gas? It's going to cook the country.
Both leaders today standing on the pillars of their campaign. For Anthony Albanese and Labor, it meant healthcare and legacy building Medicare reforms, as well as a Buy Australian focus in Bundaberg. For Peter Dutton, tapping business anger over rising electricity costs to sell his gas reserve plan. Queensland wasn't top of the list for easy pickings for either side, but with the Prime Minister starting the campaign in the opposition leader's own electorate, it sets a tone.
This is Queensland's most marginal seat, and a margin with a 1 in front of it. We intend to run a very serious campaign.
I'd welcome Mr Albanese meeting as many of my constituents in Dickson as possible, and I think my margin would go up as a result of that. So, very happy for that. I think we're a real shot in winning Lily, and I think we're a shot in winning Moreton as well.
Perhaps a political mind game from Labor, but Peter Dutton did rally the troops at home too. The opposition leader clearly bullish in his home state.
The condition of the pilot critically injured in yesterday's Avalon Airshow crash has improved to stable as an investigation tries to determine how the aircraft came down. Ollie Haig has today's developments.
Well, Australian Transport Safety Bureau investigators spent the night here at Avalon Airport combing the wreckage of a stunt plane that came down yesterday evening here at the Australian International Airshow. It was witnessed by thousands of spectators who were watching 4 stunt planes when one of them, performing an aerobatic manoeuvre, crashed just off the runway. The pilot of the downed aircraft has been identified as Glenn Collins, who has several decades' experience in the industry and won multiple accolades. He was airlifted to Melbourne's Alfred Hospital with critical injuries. He is now in a stable condition.
It was a pretty eerie silence that came over the place. I had 3 kids with me, and thankfully we don't think they spotted it. But yeah, it was quite eerie. Just the whole place just went dead silent.
The Australian Transport Safety Bureau says the crash site stretches some 150 metres west of the runway. The incident happened 200 metres from spectators. Investigators now examining why the aircraft came down and gathering data and vision from the plane. It's been moved into a hangar where it'll be examined further.
It will take us some time to go through piece by piece what is there and what the relevance of the accident site for this investigation.
Organisers of the airshow held crucial meetings well into the night and determined the event can continue safely. 80,000 spectators tipped to pull through the gates today. Paul Bennett Airshows has withdrawn from the event as their team member Glenn Collins fights for life in hospital.
A man has been killed in a regional town north of Melbourne after a fight between neighbours early this morning. Gillian Lantouris reports.
Forensic investigators have been combing through this house behind me after a man was stabbed to death. Police were called to Haywood Crescent in Seymour around 3 a.m. to reports a fight had broken out. When police arrived, 28-year-old Aaron Grant was found with a stab wound to his chest. He was taken to hospital but sadly died a short time later.
Yeah, that was a bit shocking. Usually just arguing and fighting and carrying on, but stabbing's at next level.
Police have gone to that house multiple times, from what I'm aware of. It's nearly every single week that something like altercation happens.
Following the fight, a neighbour, a 41-year-old man, handed himself into the local police station and is being questioned by the homicide squad. Police aren't looking for anyone else in relation to this death, but they are still trying to find a motive.
More than 50 firefighters have responded to a large blaze at an abandoned school in Lismore. Several first responders were treated for dehydration and heat exhaustion after battling the inferno into the night last night. The cause of the fire is being treated as suspicious, the building empty since the 2022 floods. Heavy rain has wreaked havoc across Queensland with several warnings and alerts still in place. McKenna Bailey has more.
The southeast is getting smashed by relentless rain today. Here on the Gold Coast, roads are rapidly going under, but we're still seeing drivers test the waters. A flood watch and act was issued for parts of the city this morning. Ground still saturated just weeks on from ex-tropical cyclone Alfred, making matters worse. While Gold Coast beaches are closed again, sparked by dangerous conditions, the Bureau issuing a hazardous surf warning today. But it's outback Queensland that's bearing the brunt as record-breaking flooding ravages the region, in some western areas the worst in history. Farmers are declaring this weather event unprecedented.
Nobody alive would have ever seen this. I've been right back through all the records since when this place was taken up in '56, and there's never been anything like this.
Rural towns are isolated, turning into islands, with locals fearing they'll run out of essential supplies. Properties have been swallowed by floodwaters, while hundreds of thousands of cattle are at risk. Stock losses are expected to be devastating. The town of Thargomindah is in the firing line, the Bellew River reaching a major flood level of more than 6 metres this morning and still rising. While the rain has mostly stopped out west, there are grave fears the worst is yet to come.
There is the potential for isolated heavy rainfall in central and northern Queensland and in the southeast of the state as well. That will be if we see any persistent heavy showers or any isolated severe thunderstorms.
Further north in the Wide Bay, wild weather over recent days has cut off major roads, including the Bruce Highway between Gympie and Maryborough, while Sunshine Coast Swiftwater rescue crews are on standby, ready to assist. The rain is set to ease tomorrow, bringing much needed relief.